Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Daily Fantasy Roundtable. I, of course, am Dan Bach, happy to be with you on this special edition. Normally, we're talking MLB, we're talking NBA, but guess what? It's arguably the biggest week of the year for golf, so I thought I'd stick my bald head in and work on some lineup building with two of the very best in daily fantasy. And it's going to be an exciting show because if you don't know, not only do we have an awesome promo for you for golf, we're giving away $10,000 in extra value on the Millionaire Maker. All you have to do, very simply, is go to that forum thread, put your username in, and then you're automatically eligible. You just got to play in the Millionaire Maker. But on top of that, we also have our lineup builder, which I've been jonesing for a long time, so I can multi-entry some tournaments. And what better one to multi-enter than the Millionaire Maker this week on DraftKings. So we're going to be using that tool to kind of set lineups and give you some analysis on the big tournament coming up. Let's bring in my co-host for today. We'll lead it off with a guy who's making his kind of debut here on the video or podcast, wherever you're hearing this. He's somebody who I've actually been following for quite some time in terms of golf analysis. He's got his own site, futurefantasy.com, and you might know him by his article that he writes for us, which I think is one of the best things that we have, called Searching for a Specialist. Josh Culp. Josh, welcome. Great to have you.
Thanks, Dan. Good to be here. Long-time writer, first-time hangouts, so excited to be on.
Absolutely. Again, I've been following you for a while, and it's not only is it great now to have you, doing the written stuff with us, but have you on this. It's great. Feels good. Talk with somebody who I've learned a lot from over the years. And then next, you know him from Grinders Live After Dark with Gib and STL. Pretty darn good hockey player, but loves his golf. He is the man, the myth, the legend, Devo. What's going on, Devo? How are you?
Not much, Dan. Stoked to be here. Excited for Masters Week. Stoked to have Josh on. I've learned a lot from him, too, over the year that PGA golf, DFS golf been around. So, yeah, and I'm excited to get into this lineup builder tool. I've been wanting to learn it myself, and the ability to make a ton of lineups with the guys you want is pretty sweet.
Absolutely, and especially when you're building a lot of lineups. I built 100, I think, for this last year, and that takes a long time, like a really long time to do. And this is a nice, precise way to get closer to the percentage of players or percentage use of a player that you want throughout, say, 100 lineups, and our lineup builder is going to make that easier for you. So we're going to jump in and show you how to do it. We're going to go to the screen share here, and again, you can find this very simply over on our daily research tab. So very simply, just click that and click the not even daily research tab, should be just on the top of the screen. But yeah, we're going to be using lineup builder. So here we go. This is the first look at it when you first get to the page. Again, make sure you toggle to DraftKings, toggle to PGA, and we will be well on our way. Before we get started, though, we got to check out our settings, and this is important because this is going to really help you in terms of what you want to build. We're going to go for 100 lineups. Again, when we run the lineup script, not necessarily will always give us 100 lineups off the bat, but we're going to go with 100 lineups here, and I'm going to set the min salary to $4,900. I'm not worried about leaving money on the table in a tournament of this magnitude where we have so many different players. And then variability, I'm going to leave that at 1. Basically what that does is it fills in the extra spots with a different number of people than rather the one that's projected the most. I think projections are sometimes pretty tough here for golf, so I'm going to leave that at 1. I think we're going to get better results in that. All right, next step for us is going down to our player pool. Over here, and guys, I fiddled with this a little bit earlier, and I think the key for us in terms of getting the best results is going to pare down the field and obviously get rid of the people that have no chance of winning this tournament, who we don't really want exposure to. Does anybody have qualms with me getting rid of the Larry Mize, Mike Weir, Marco Mira, Romaine, I don't even know who he is, Sandy Lyle, all these schlubs, because do they have any chance in either your two eyes, really being competent fantasy plays?
I mean,
Crickets.
if it's everyone on that list, I would say to keep Bernhard longer. But
Okay, Bernhard Longer would be. I'll go for that. What do you think, Devo? Is there any of these low guys that we should consider? Like
Not
real
on my.
low guys?
None of them are on my radar.
Okay, so we can get rid of Bowditch. We can get rid of. Are we VJ Singh? We're okay with getting rid of. Again, we got 100 lineups to fill here. I just want to make sure that none of these guys are on your radar.
yeah, I mean Smiley.
Yeah, we'll get up to Smiley. I'm looking like the sub 6K guys. Scott Piercy, what do we think about him? Do we want him on just a couple of lineups?
I
Devo.
think he's a better play than Fred Couples.
Yes, Fred Couples is out, so he is not going to go. So, okay, we'll get rid of Troy Merritt, Longer, Jim Chang. Okay, now let's go to these 6K guys
I
real
thought
quick
Josh
here.
liked Longer.
What's that?
Josh likes Longer, right?
Did I get rid of Longer?
Keep a couple of Bernhard.
Okay, hold on. This is what you do. You go back to okay, Bernhard. My fault. There we go. We've got Longer locked in. All right, let's go down to these guys here, and again, we're going to go back. This is more along the lines of guys that we want to kind of get rid of because we've got so many different people here. I'm not afraid to keep guys out, so I'm with you. Smiley is going to make the rotation. Fabian Gomez, thoughts on him? Do we get rid of him? Do we keep him?
I'm off him.
Josh?
Oh yeah, Gomez is out for me.
Okay, Gomez is out. I like this. Kierdich, Efferbarnrot. What do we think? In or out?
Out.
Yeah,
Josh?
out.
Lahiri, Josh?
Ooh, I would say very small, but if we don't want to like dabble, then maybe out. But
What do you think,
I don't mind
Devo?
him.
Any chance for a couple or out?
yeah,
I'm
maybe a
off.
couple.
I'd rather have Von Taylor.
Yeah.
Okay, so Von Taylor will leave. Soren I don't know this guy.
Out.
Is he out?
Out.
Okay, Daniel Berger is in. I'm going to make that executive decision. Alongside JD.
Out.
Yep.
Cameron
Out.
Smith.
He's borderline, but out.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Borderline, but out. Okay. And again, this is going to get more compelling here in a moment, guys. This is just the important part of using Lineup Builder. Otherwise, it's not going to work out as well for us. Okay, Streelman, yes or no?
No.
No.
Okay, I like this. Charlie Hoffman, we're going to leave. Chris Wood, what do you think?
Keep him.
Okay, he said it with much passion, so we're going to leave it. Ernie, what do we think of him?
Nah.
Nah.
Okay, Ernie's out. And, okay, I'm going to keep Byrne. I'm going to keep Bryce. Okay, last couple. Actually, yeah, last couple here. Angel Cabrera, do we take a shot on him in this tournament?
Sure.
Josh?
Yeah.
You don't seem too sold on him, but Devo will go to you here.
We have 100 lineups.
That's true. We got 100 lineups. I'm going to make an executive decision here, as long as I don't get vetoed by you. Byung Hung An, can we take him out?
He told us not to take him on Twitter.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. So he's going to be gone. Is there anyone else that we're passionate about here in the higher levels that we can get rid of? Because I think everyone else is a reasonable shot, but I'm willing to hear you out if there's somebody that you're like no chance of.
I don't want any Fitzpatrick. I think Moore's going to be too popular. I don't like Mahan.
I don't like Mahan either. I do like Fitzpatrick though.
Okay, so let's go to Hunter Mahan. He is out. Okay, so we've got our staple of golfers here now, and let's start here at the top tier. And again, the way Lineup Builder works is we can lock players in like this, and therefore they would be in all of our lineups, but I'm not stupid, and I'm not going to have 100% of any one player in my lineup. So we're not going to lock. So what you do is you click the favorite here, and you can get set your exposure at basically intervals of 5% up to 25. Then it goes 35, 50, or 75. Now, if you don't set a favorite on it, that doesn't mean that those guys won't be chosen, but they'll be chosen a lot less than the people who are set at a favorite. So we're going to set as many favorites as we can, and I think it's the struggle, or what we're going to try and do here is figure out what percentage ownership of our 30 lineups we want. And again, we're out to win $1 million here this week on DraftKings. So let's start with Rory McIlroy at the top. Again, we've got this based on salary from top to bottom. Josh, we'll be talking about a lot of golfers here, but what do you think about Rory? He's the highest salary out there. What do you think of his prospects here? I read your column, and he did actually make the final specialists, I saw.
Yeah, surprisingly. At the same time, though, he's kind of out of form, and with the wind forecast with gusts up to 30 miles per hour, I'm kind of steering a little more away from Rory.
What do you think, Devo?
I like Rory just as a contrarian option. I think he's going to go slightly overlooked. I think more people will gravitate towards Spieth, but I also don't really like Rory on the cover, but I think he will go overlooked, which boosts his value to me.
All right, I'm going to go in. I'm okay with Rory here. I think the win does scare me a little bit, but I do think he's got the goods to win this tournament. Hell, all these guys in the top 15 probably do. We'll go ahead. It sounds lukewarm on Rory, so we're going to go kind of at 15%. Let's go in quickly. Who are your favorite plays? Like, who are the guys that you think we should have the most exposure to? Because I don't think I'm going to set anybody higher than 35%. So that's going to be kind of our number. But let's put 3 or 4 guys on the top tier that you think, because let's face it, the winner, I think, is going to come from the top 15 here. So if you had to pick 3 your highest guys, Josh, percentage-wise, what do you got?
Ooh. I would say Spieth, Scott, and either Phil or Fowler.
Okay. And again, this is thinking about trying to win $1 million there with the Millie Maker. What do you think there, Devo?
I have 100% exposure to one of these top 15 guys, and he doesn't cost $10K. I've got one each, just one-offs of Rory, Scott, Day, Watson, and Mickelson. I'm totally fading Spieth and Fowler. I think they're going to be too highly owned for where I have them projected.
Okay, so based on what your guys' thoughts were, I think that we could go Spieth at a moderate 15% exposure here. We can go Jason Day at a moderate. Again, I think he's going to be 35% owned. We'll be under on Jason Day. Adam Scott, I got a feeling that both of you guys, are you okay with Adam Scott being at a 20 to 25% exposure for us here?
Yeah, I am. I really like Scott this week.
What do you think, Devo?
I like Scott a lot too, but just as I've been building my lineups, I haven't been totally enamored with a lot of these guys in the 6K range, and so I've been gravitating towards more of a balanced lineup approach. So, yeah, I just don't have any heavy exposure to any of the top guys. But if I were to go heavy on a guy, I would choose somebody like Scott that will be less owned.
Okay, we'll throw him at 25%. Fowler, you're saying you're fading there, Devo. I like Fowler. I think there's a chance he wins this tournament. Josh, what's your thoughts on Ricky?
Yeah, he's definitely in my top 5. So, I mean, it always comes down to ownership with him. And
yeah.
He's usually pretty popular.
That's the only reason I don't like him. I think he looks great, but I just think everybody likes him.
Okay, we'll go 15% on him. Bubba, I think he's a polarizing guy. Obviously has the chance to win the tournament, but I guess was a little bit sick earlier in this week. What do we think of Bubba here, you two guys? Josh, you first.
Yeah, I think with him winning twice, he gets a lot of attention, but I don't think he really deserves as much as he'll be owned. So I would go under on Bubba.
What do you think?
I wonder how much his sinus infection will scare off ownership.
That's true.
I don't know, though. Like, there's a lot of new people playing right now, so I don't know that it will necessarily scare too many people off. Like, I think the sharp players might have a little less Bubba, but I think your average Joe who jumps in and throws $20 in to build a team probably is not researching Bubba's sinuses. Just a hunch. So
Fair point.
we're gonna go conservative here on these guys. We'll go 15% on Bubba. I'm not a huge Phil guy myself, but it sounds like you guys kind of like Phil.
I mean, he's got the GOAT courts history. He is a lefty, and he's saying he's hitting the ball better now than he ever has been before.
True.
Yep, I really like Phil. I mean, I think he doesn't have too many chances to win many more majors, so I think this is one of those good chances that as good of chances he'll get to add another major.
All right, well, we'll go 25% on Phil for you guys. Dustin Johnson, Rose, and Stenson. Again, we're getting to some of these 9K guys that I think Devo likes. I'm going to take a stand here and say Dustin Johnson is going to be a 25%er for us. Yes, I've had bad experiences with Dustin Johnson, 3-putting from 12 feet and costing me a lot of money. But I'm going to overlook that one, and you got to score well on the par fives if you want to have a chance here. Obviously, this guy hits the ball a mile, and I'm going to bank on Dustin getting some eagles here, so he is going to be near the top for me. Rose and Stenson. What do you think of these guys? I think Rose will be pretty low-owned. Not sure on Stenson, though. What do you think, Josh?
Yeah, I'm loving Rose. He's one of my top-owned this week, so I'm hoping that he goes low-owned again. But Stenson, on the other hand, I'm pretty much fading. I think his upside here is kind of limited.
All right. Devo, your thoughts on those two guys?
I love Rose this week. He actually is better than Dustin Johnson at par 5 scoring. I think he's going to go significantly under-owned than anybody that we've talked about so far. And Josh Culp calls him a specialist.
All right. Well, we'll go 35% on Justin Rose. And Henrik Stenson, what do you think of him there, Devo?
I again like him for a contrarian play. I don't understand why people say he can't win. He's pretty much one hot putter away from winning every single week he takes the course. His course history does scare me, but it also should scare off some ownership. So again, with all the people gravitating towards the top options, I think he's going to be very lowly owned, and he's a great golfer. He's arguably the best ball striker and finder of the green out here, so I'm on him as well.
Okay, we'll go.
If we get him at low ownership, then I don't mind him, but I was thinking the opposite and was thinking that he'll be too highly owned. Because people seem to gravitate towards his steadiness, and they saw that he almost won last week. So.
Well, I think the way I look at it is his ownership will be way higher than the next two guys, who is Matsuyama and Charles Schwartzel. I think he'll be way higher owned than those guys. So let's go 10% on Stenson here, and let's talk Schwartzel and Matsuyama. Matsuyama's a guy who just has an unbelievable swing. He hits it deep enough, I think, to be, obviously competitive on the par fives here. The putter is always a little bit shaky with him. And then we got Schwartzel, who won at the Valspar a couple weeks ago, has had, lukewarm success after his win a few years back, which was just really a surprise, kind of out of nowhere. Really the last big, I think, surprise winner we've seen. What's your takeoff on Schwartzel and Matsuyama? How much you like these guys, Josh?
I'm starting to really like Charles after after I look at the wind forecast and see them, gusting up to 30 miles per hour, because Charles is one of the better wind players according to my stats. So I'm going to start gravitating towards Charles and Matt. Yeah.
And what do you think of Matsuyama?
I have kind of a weird grudge against Matsuyama here at Augusta, because I took him, I think it was 2 years ago, the year when he fired an 80 in the opening round, and I watched some of that, and he just looked completely lost on the green. So last year was a little softer, so he might have benefited a little from that. But if they're running quick again, I think he could get in trouble there.
What do you think, Devo?
I wonder about how soft these greens are going to be. I know they're forecasting rain on Thursday morning, but it's the only time they're going to get rain, and it's supposed to be a light rain. So I think that could go either way with the weather, being dynamic. Good point you bring up about Charles. I have been wrestling with him as well. He's going to be very under-owned, probably even lower-owned than Rose. And if he's really good in the wind and it's going to be windy, then that's a pretty awesome play. I like Hideki as well. He's kind of a lower-owned Stenson, if you will. But maybe I shall gravitate towards Schwartzel as well.
All right. Well, it sounds like both these guys in play for us. We'll set them at 15. I'll go 15 and then 10 for Mr. Matsuyama. All right. Let's go to the next. And again, we're going to start getting a little bit less in terms of our liking of guys as we go on. And it might start with Louis Oosthuizen, Brandon Grace. Do we have interest in these guys? I mean, yes, again, we don't have to favorite them, and they'll probably be in 1% or 2% of our lineups, but do we want upwards of 5% or more of either of these two guys? Josh.
Yeah, I actually like Grace a lot. I think people look at his last 2 years here, and they see missed cuts, but he did finish top 20 in his debut, and he's actually quite a bit better on bent grass, so I'm kind of liking him because don't think he'll be too highly owned.
What do you think there, Devo?
He's going to be like owned not. Who's going to be owned more, him or Louis?
Ooh.
Yeah, is Grace good in the wind too? Another South African?
I don't see him popping out in the wind.
All right. We'll leave Grace. We'll put Grace in at 5% for us here. So we'll probably still be over at that level, and we'll leave Oosthuizen off to the side for now. Brand Snedeker, Sergio, Patrick Reed. I think we get some interesting levels here. I'm starting to buy into Patrick Reed a little bit more, and I think again we got to start going up a little bit higher in terms of our percentage owned than some of these lower guys, so we can get a good number of teams. Are you okay with Patrick Reed at, say, like 30 to 35% ownership here today? Josh?
Yeah, I think I am. I think he'll be highly owned, but at the same time, you can't go contrarian everywhere. So I'm fine with a lot of Reed.
Devo?
I am fading Reed because of ownership. I like the options of Sergio, Jimmy, and Brooks, and we'll be gravitating in those directions.
Okay. Well, we'll go down to we'll compromise at say 20% on them, and you look at Snedeker, Sergio, Jimmy Walker. I'm going to put Snedeker at 5. I'm not loving him. I don't think we need to go over on that. And then Sergio, sell me on Sergio, Devo, because I'm not seeing it.
Hits at 300 yards, finds greens, gains strokes, tee to green, decent at par 5 scoring. And he's going to be under-owned, and he's right at an average price tag.
Josh, are you anti-Sergio this week?
I wouldn't say anti-Sergio, but I'm kind of lukewarm on him.
Okay, we'll throw a 5%er on Sergio. And Jimmy Walker, 30% owned last year in this tournament and really let a lot of people down. Obviously not as hot as we've seen. I don't know if this course sets up great for him. I don't know. I think I'm much more on Brooks Koepka over Jimmy Walker today. Do you guys like Walker at all?
I don't mind him, and kind of during his debut here, a lot of people were saying it'd be a really good course fit because he hits a high ball and he prefers to hit a draw. So in that regard, it does fit him, and he is good in the wind. So I don't mind him at all. But I think he's more of a safe play rather than a top 5 or top 10 guy.
What do you got, Devo?
I like him a lot this week. He's 3rd in par 5 scoring this season. He's another guy that hits at 300 yards. Hitting a draw is pretty optimal for both distance and the way this course lays out with multiple dog legs left. And, you can't argue with that price tag. Like, all the things that were true about him last year are still true this year. He's just, not in everybody's mind. So that makes him even more valuable to me.
All right, we'll go 15%. You guys both bought me in on him. Brooks Koepka and Danny Willett. I think these are two of the higher-owned guys in this range from all the analysis I've seen. I am on Team Koepka over Team Willett here if I'm choosing one. What do you think there, Josh?
Yeah, I'd join you on Team Koepka. I think Willett's getting a lot of love, but I'm not sure it's quite warranted. I mean, he's good, but I don't think he's, people will cite his world ranking, and that's not really I would drop him down maybe like 25th or 40th in the world, not like top 15 or whatever he is.
What do you think, Devo?
Yeah, put me on Team Kepka also. I have no Willet.
All right. Well, we'll go heavy here on Kepka at 35, and we'll throw Willett go down to the 5%. I think we'll be in the contrarian side on him. Leishman, Kisner, Kuchar. Before we get to maybe my favorite play after that, any of these guys do we want over 5%? Leishman, Kisner, Kuchar. What do you think, Josh?
Kuchar, I'd say definitely. He's kind of a safe play that similar to like a Patrick Reed where you can just kind of rely on a top 25. So I don't mind him, but it might not be the best format in the Millionaire.
What do you think, Devo?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely we need to be heavier than 5% on Kuchar. I think Kisner is the really interesting one in there. I think he's going to totally be overlooked. And his stats actually fit in pretty nicely with it for this course, with the exception of his driving distance. He only hits at 290 off the tee, but he still has no problem gaining strokes on these par 5s and these long par 4s. He hits a ton of greens, and I think he's going to be super underowned. So I would be heavier exposed to him also.
Okay, well, we'll go, we'll leave. Let's see. On Kisner, we'll go 10% on him, and Kuchar will go 20% on him, and we'll leave Leishman as a non-favorite. Paul Casey, another guy who I think will be chalk this week, but I think he's really underpriced. I feel like he should be like 87 instead of 77, and if I can get that value, yes, we worry about ownership, but sometimes. You can't go contrarian in all 5 spots, or you don't have to. And I like Paul Casey today as a 35%er for us. What do you think, Devo?
Yeah, I'm really heavy on Paul Casey also. I think I have him in 60 or 70% of my lineups. I think that there's enough other names to draw people in this range, especially Zach Johnson, that will keep some of his ownership down. So, yeah, I'm totally fine with being heavy on Paul Casey.
Josh, any reservations there or any qualms with that?
No, I can't really dispute it too much. I mean, I'm a little lighter on Casey than that, but I mean, there's no real reason why he shouldn't perform, top 30.
Okay. I think, again, the next level we've got Zach Johnson, Justin Thomas, Bill Haas. For the purposes of our 100 lineups that we're building on DraftKings, I think I want to leave Zach at 5%. Either of you have a problem with that?
No, I like that. I think he gets a kind of a label that he's like great in the wind and great in all these conditions, but like I'm not seeing that in my numbers. So I think he'll be highly owned. But
what do you think, Devo?
I think 5% is too heavy.
Okay. You know what? I can get behind the non-favorites on him, so that means he'll probably come in under 5% more than likely, especially when we got Justin Thomas, who I do like, and I'm feeling like a 15%er, because, again, we got to add some of these lighter guys because we still want to roster those top tiers. What do you think of Justin Thomas? Any problems with 15%?
I like Justin Thomas. I think he's done his due diligence this week to get rid of whatever rookie rust he might have. He hits it over 300, gain strokes. I think he's going to go slightly overlooked. I like him.
Josh?
Yeah, I don't mind that at all either. I mean, there's kind of that old like entrepreneurial saying that you're like the average of the 5 people you spend the most time around, and he hangs out with Spieth a lot, so I think he could contend here his first time around.
Okay, next go around we've got Bill Haas. I also kind of like here his pretty good track record at Augusta, and I feel he fits okay. I think rolling him at 20%, I'm interested in. And then Duffner and Lowry and Holmes. What are your thoughts on them? At this moment, I think Lowry is at a 0 liking, Holmes is at a 0, and Duffner is at a 5%. Give me your thoughts on those 3. Devo, you first.
Haas is interesting to me. There's this stigma that he can't really win majors or anything, and I stumbled across this stat this week that his dad actually holds the record for most majors started without a win. It's like 98 majors or something like that. So I wonder if the Haas family can win majors. I'm off him. I'm also off Duffner. I think he might be a little popular. I agree with you on fading Lowry. Holmes is interesting to me, though. He was another one of those guys that was over 30% owned last year. He's a bomber who, looks like he fits the mold for the course. He was in great form then. He's in not great form now, and so nobody's talking about him. Do we like him as a contrarian play?
What do you think, Josh?
I don't like him just because, that injury last week had to be pretty kind of serious if he withdrew after, showing up on site, and, people don't really want to withdraw when they're defending their title. So for him to do that makes me think it's a little more serious than I want to invest in.
I was off the grid last week. I didn't even know about that, so that makes sense.
What's your thoughts on Duffner and Lowry and Haas real quick? Any of those three interest you, Josh?
Yeah, I like the 20% on Haas. I mean, he gets the reputation of not performing in majors. He's still looking for his first top 10 in a major, but he's come so close so many times that's really just a number. And for his price, I'd be fine with a top 10 or 15.
And Duffner and Lowry, I got 5 on Duffner, 0 on Lowry and Holmes. What do you think?
I would prefer 5 on Lowry and 0 on Duffner, but okay. I'm fine either way.
Okay, well we'll go 5 on Lowry then, and 5 on Duffner. That's fine. We can go with these low-owned ones. That works. My nemesis in all of DFS golf is Lee Westwood, and it doesn't help that he's pretty good here at Augusta. He is a guy that I need you guys to steer me what to do with him, because if it was up to me, I'd probably put him in 20% and he would bomb. And if I didn't play him, he would probably win the tournament. So you guys decide on Lee Westwood. What do we do here, Josh?
Oh man, I'm on the same fence. On one side, I want to play him because of the course history, but I mean, there has to be a reason why he hasn't been playing internationally over the last few months. Normally he'd have maybe 5 or 6 starts by this time of the year, and I think the match play was his first appearance in 2016. So for me, that signals some kind of personal problem or a slight injury that doesn't allow him to play. So I don't think I'll have much Westwood.
Devo, what do you think?
I'm off him.
You're off him. Okay, well, you both sound like you're off him. We're going to be off him. I'm off of Danny Lee as well. I don't have much interest. Again, I'm not going to take him out of the lineup builder, but you're probably, with this many favorites, only going to get him in one tops 2% of your lineups, which I can live with that. Any love for Danny Lee? I'd be surprised if you do.
No love here.
Same.
Okay. You know what? Let's just take Danny Lee out altogether. We don't want him.
Like
Ian Poulter. This is a guy at 7,200. Not really in great form. I guess he did do okay out there in that watered down field in Puerto Rico, but pretty good track record at Augusta. I think he's probably worth a 5%er. Anybody want more exposure than that?
No. The form holds him back, but I do agree with the course history makes him where you can't completely fade him.
Devo.
I am totally off of Ian Poulter, and here's why. Because last night he tweeted out pictures of the 4 outfits that he will be wearing on the 4 days, which is very obviously a jinx. He's only going to wear 2 of those outfits. 0% Ian.
I don't like your explanation. I'm leaving him at 5%. Devo, let's go to Horschel, Harris, Keimer as our next 3. What do you think of those guys? For me personally, probably Harris out of those 3, but not against Horschel maybe. What do you think?
I agree. I like Harris English the most out of this group. He bombs it. He's going to be sneaky, and 7.1K is tough to argue with.
Josh?
Yeah, I don't mind Harris or Horschel. Who's the third one?
Keimer.
Oh, Keimer. I want no Keimer at Augusta. I think this was the course that forced him to change his swing and kind of took him off the map for like 3 years.
Well, we'll go ahead and go Harris English at 10, and we'll throw Billy Horschel at 5% and leave Mr. Keimer off. Dubison, Donaldson, Lingmerth. Any interest in these three guys at a 5% or higher clip? Devo?
Yeah, I'm not really on any of these guys.
What do you think, Josh?
Yeah, nothing really. I would say Donaldson if any of the three, but I don't love.
Yeah, I'm going to pass on them. Let's move on to the next group. Bradley, and Graham McDowell. And I think we need to ask the question here, should we just take Keegan Bradley out of the script altogether?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm getting back on the train.
You're getting back on the train, Devo?
Yeah, because nobody else is going to be on it.
Goodness. Well, we'll leave. We won't take him out of the script, but we're not. There's no chance I'm giving him any favoritism here. But Kevin Na, I think we can. This guy continually does well the last few years at Augusta. I think top 15 finishes there, and I think he's in play for me.
I think he'll be really highly owned, and he made my fade list personally. That price is really good, but he's hit a rough patch of form, so I don't love him.
What do you think there, Devo?
Yeah, I think he's going to be too popular, and he's a bunter. You know, he's pretty much going to guarantee you like a 30th, but I don't expect to see him cracking the top 10.
Okay, well, we'll throw him at 5% because I'm controlling this thing. Graham McDowell, Fitzpatrick, before we get to the next grouping. I really don't want any Graham McDowell, and I don't know much about Matthew Fitzpatrick. What do you think, Josh? What do you know on those guys?
I like Fitzpatrick. I think just a few, like at the beginning of the year, he's kind of the hot thing. Like, he's the next star to come from Europe, and now he's kind of way overlooked. I still think he has all that talent, but he's just not getting the hype, and all it takes is a couple good rounds. So I like a few shares of Fitzpatrick.
Devo?
Yeah, I'm ignorant to him, but if Josh is on him, then I like him too.
Okay, we'll get 5% on him. Let's go to Ryan Moore, Emilio, and Chris Kirk. Certainly, I think Kirk and Moore are going to be a little bit more chalky than Emilio is going to be. But again, how chalk? I don't think any of these guys are going to be like 30% owned, but I think these could be viable under 7K guys. Any issues with me putting those two at 10%?
No, I think Moore's going to be popular, but they're both viable options. They interest me.
Josh?
Yeah, I'm on the same page. I think they'll be a little higher owned than I want them to be, or that they should be. But 10% is not too much. Okay,
and Grillo, can we just leave him as a under 5%er?
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to the next group here, and I'm wondering, Webb Simpson, take him out altogether, maybe?
He has tools here. He's Southern boy. He hits at 300. I mean, we're talking about cheap guys here, like kind of decent form this season too.
Josh, what do you think of Webb?
Yeah, I mean that price is pretty crazy. Like to think about if you were looking at this like a year or two ago, that'd be insane pricing, but I mean, there's a reason why his price is down there now, so I won't have a lot of Webb. Okay,
well, we'll leave him in. Let's go to the next 5, and basically at this point, I just want to know if you want a guy to be 5% or higher owned, and it's Russell Knox, Andy Sullivan, Angel Cabrera, and then the amateur, Bryson DeChambeau. We'll start with you, Josh. Knox, Sullivan, Cabrera, DeChambeau. What do you think?
I'm on board with Bryson.
Okay. I'm kind of on board with Bryson, too. Are you on board with Bryson, Devo?
I am on board with Bryson. How popular is he going to be?
I don't think he's going to be crazy popular because, again, I think he falls into the category of, non-DFS sharp, just not ever hearing of this kid. Maybe the smarter players will get it, but I'm not sure about these guys. So I'm going to set him at 20%.
Is there anything to like the game theory of if only sharp players are playing this guy, do I then want to fade him more because if he does well, then the lineups I'm competing with are other sharp lineups?
I
That's
think
really
we're overthinking it. Personally.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'm okay with using him. So, I'm going to use him at 10. Any of those other guys interest you? Sullivan potentially at 5%?
I don't mind Sullivan. He's not someone I'll lead with, though. But 5 is fine.
Yeah, I'm fine with 5 on all these guys.
Okay, I'll go 5% on Sullivan. Let's see. Let's see. What do you think of Burned Wiesberger? I like the Burned.
Yeah, I kind of like the burn as well.
Anyone?
I like Charlie a bit more than Burned.
Okay, well, we'll put Charlie at 5%. And, all right, let's get down to this next level. Chris Wood, Streb, Berger. Any problems with putting Berger at 10%?
Yeah, I think he should be higher.
Okay, what do you think there, Josh?
Yeah, I'm fine with higher than 10% on Burger.
Let's go 25. Let's do it.
Oh.
All right, Devo, I need you to talk about these low-tier guys here real quick. I got a semi-emergency on my hands, okay?
All right.
Thank you. Take over.
You got it. All right, low-tier guys, we have Streb. He's kind of on my radar, but I don't know if I like him more than Hoffman or Berger. What do you think of Streb?
Yeah, the only thing that stands out is Streb. He's kind of gaining a little momentum on me because of the wind. That's really the only thing that's gravitating me towards him. But
where do you get your wind data from?
I basically just record what the average wind speed is for each round. And then record how they performed when the wind was over 14 miles per hour.
So you make your own data. Attaboy.
Yeah.
Last 3 names on the list: Vaughn Taylor, Smiley Kaufman, and Bernhard Langer. How much exposure do we want there?
I think Smiley is going to be really popular.
Me too. How popular?
I'm thinking he could be close to 20%. What were you thinking?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that ballpark too, but I mean, man, so many lineups could just start with Smiley, and then it just leaves you so many options.
All right, guys, I'm back. I'm sorry about that. So, consensus on Smiley Kaufman was how high?
We're discussing that right now, and we're talking at least 20%, I think.
I can get behind that for sure, because you need some cheap guys to get those high dollar guys in, and I'm okay with that. You all right with that, Josh?
Yeah, I was thinking the field is going to be he's going to be very highly owned in general, but I mean, I'm also okay with getting on board.
I mean, 20% is still probably under the overall ownership on him, so or pretty close to it. So I'm all right with that. I think we've got our script set up. Let's kind of see what we get in terms of our return here of our lineup. So if this is your first time using it, you go to Find Multiple Lineups. You click it, and we'll see how many it spits out for us. We asked it to do 100, and boom. First go-around, we got 100. So I'll tell you what, there's a couple interesting things here to look at, and the first thing that you want to do is you scroll down and check out your percentage owned versus your target versus your actual numbers. And pretty impressive how close the kind of script came to here. We've got Paul Casey at 35%, Target at 33% overall, Koepka 35%, 31% overall, and it really, does a pretty amazing job in terms of, getting these guys where we want them. One thing I noticed, look, Zach Johnson came at 19%. So we'll do a little adjustment there on that, and we'll see. Your Bernhard Langer came in at 15%. So this is the risk sometimes of not, ranking some guys because they can come in lower. I think we don't want 15% Bernhard. I don't think we want 19% Zach, so we'll go in and fix that here in a minute. You'll see we're a little bit under on Rory from 10 to 15, but we can live with that. And again, these are some of the other guys that we have. Westwood came in at 9, Leishman at 7, Knox at 5. Nobody else particularly that we were way off on here in terms of like the 1%er. So the biggest thing that I think you guys can agree on is it gave us a little more Zach Johnson than we wanted, and maybe a little bit more Bernard Longer. So let's go back to said script. If you're wondering how to adjust it, you go back to your player pool, and let's go find some Zach Johnson and fix our number on him. We set him at unrated. Let's see. Where is Zach? So
right in the middle.
Let's move him down to 5%, and then we'll also move Bernard down to 5%. I'm just going to put Scott Piercy at 5% because I've just got a hunch that we'd see a lot of those guys if we don't do that. And if anything, let's see, we got the Burger at, what, 25%? We'll leave him there. And let's move Smiley up to 25% too, because I think we'd agree we'd rather have more Smiley than Longer. All right, let's spit it out. Let's see what we get. Find our multiple lineups. This is a fun little toy, boys and girls.
Yeah, what a great tool, Dan. Thanks for putting this together.
Yeah, no. Well, I didn't do anything, so.
Hey, you were the puppet master, though.
Yeah. All right. Again, back to our ownership, and let me get the whole page up here a little bit. And we've got Paul Casey at 35, Rose at 35, right on the number. Koepka right where we like it. Von Taylor and Oosthuizen are the ones that jumped up a little bit. So again, we'd have to discuss whether we want Von Taylor at 17% or Oosthuizen at 16, JB at 14. And I think what we're seeing here, guys, is if we don't put a percentage on it, we're going over on a lot of cases. So I think this is probably a situation where you should probably just go ahead and rank these guys at probably like 5% or less. So let's quickly go in there and do that and see what we come up with.
I assume we might have to boost some of our other guys to compensate for that ownership?
We could probably do that, especially the guys potentially around them. So let's go and see what we got. Okay, Louis Oosthuizen will set at 5%. If we were going to upgrade Grace or Matsuyama, which would you rather go up to? Looks like Matsuyama's sitting at about 10%, and Grace is at about 10%.
I think that's a good upgrade.
Okay, so we'll put them up 15 on there. Let's go down to Mark Leishman. We'll set him at 5%. We'll put Kuchar up to 25%. And let's see, JB at a 5% clip. Westwood we're going to take out entirely because we don't trust him. And then, again, this kind of goes back to Keimer. I don't think any of us liked him. We'll take him out. Dubasson will sit at 5. Donaldson will sit at 5. Lingmerth will sit at 5. And we'll put Na up to 15. Keegan, for the sake of Devo, will leave at 5. Graham McDowell, any reservations getting rid of him altogether?
Nah. I don't love him, but don't hate him.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll leave him at 5 then. Emiliano will sit at 5. Oh, no, Emiliano's gone. I had a split. Webb Simpson will sit at 5. Knox will sit at 5. Let's see. Bryson, I think we were at 25 on him, so we'll leave him there. I'm going to put the Burner up to 10. Chris Wood, what do you think of him, Josh?
I would go 5 or 10% there. I like him this week.
Okay, we'll go 10 on him. Streb, I don't trust. Von Taylor will leave at 5. Or, yeah, we'll go to 5 on him. All right, we got everybody ranked. Let's see what we get. Final go around here, and then we'll do one quick wrap up in terms of how we can kind of clean up our teams. Generating our lineups. And boom, there we have it. Oh, you know who we missed? Shoot, I got to go back and do this. Angel Cabrera showed up in like 40% of lineups, and is not going to work for us. Here we go. Angel at 5. Okay, hopefully this works still. I don't know. We've got every player ranked. One more time. Okay, here we go. Without further ado, our ownership. Koepka, Casey, Rose, Berger, Kuchar, Smiley. This is pretty much right on the nuts of what we wanted for almost all these guys. First one we come up a little bit under is Adam Scott at 11% from a 25% request. Otherwise, everyone else pretty much hits the number here, boys and girls. And just kind of show you how near exact we can get with our ownership. So hopefully from this, the best advice for you is set your percentage owned on all these players, every single one that you want, and then you should be able to get pretty close to that. Now I'm going to show you one thing, because one thing that I'm very passionate about for this tournament is to not zero out any lineup. So as you can see, this will show you all the amount of salary you have left. In this example here, we've got 50K used. I would actually go in and make a manual edit on this lineup, because I don't want any lineup that uses all the salary, because I don't want a duplicate lineup. I don't want to share my $1 million with 100 other people. So you can go through, and I would make those changes. Certainly of anyone that's leveled out, and you could even go as far as ones that only leave like 100 on the table. The more you leave on the table, the better chance it's going to be a non-duplicate lineup. So you can go through all 100, and you can see that there's a handful in there. We're not going to go and make changes on all of them, but that's an easy way to do it. Again, just to make the change, you could click here, say, okay, I'm going to go from Phil to Dustin, and then boom, you're set. You know, it goes back into the list. So you want to export, that's how you do it. Again, this is our lineup builder, and it's something that if you guys aren't going to build 100 lineups by hand, good luck. This is going to make your life a hell of a lot easier. So there you have it, guys. That's lineup builder. What do you think?
I think that's cool.
That is really cool. Like, I've never used that yet.
Yeah, well, it's only been around for like a day, so don't feel bad. And again, basically what this does is it'll build that file for you, and then you can upload it to the My Lineups page over on DraftKings as you enter the tournaments. Again, if the $20 one's too much for you, they got a great $3 tournament as well, and that actually has a really good payout structure. So I definitely recommend people checking that out. But fellas, we got like 300 people watching this some odd show. Final thoughts here. Give me your winner, Devo. I'm sure you gave it last night. Who do you got?
A winner? It's so different projecting a winner versus the guy I like the most who's going to be under-owned. I mean, Dave's the obvious favorite to win. He's going to be the chalk, but the guy that I'm picking is Rose.
Josh, what do you think?
I like that Rose, but I'm gonna go with Adam Scott as my winner.
Well, we'll have to up some Adam Scott since he came in under on ours. But, fellas, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you so much for watching this. Again, this lineup builder tool can be really helpful if you're building a ton of lineups. And, again, thanks for watching us here on Grinders Live. Good luck this weekend in your golf. A lot of great content coming back a little bit after us here today on Grinders Live. And be sure, if you're playing Millionaire Maker, go to that forum post, throw your name in, and you can just luck box your way into an extra couple grand. And it doesn't cost you anything to do, just added value on your entries. So for Josh and Devo, I'm Dan. Have yourself a great day, great week, watching some golf, and we will see you from rotogrinders.com.